Mantour Ministries presents the Mantour Guy Podcast. We may talk about football. We could mention bacon. We might reference Rocky movies. We'll probably discuss the Mantour conferences, but we'll definitely talk about how to grow in our walk with God. Here's your host, the Mantour Guy, Jamie Holden.
Hey guys, welcome to the Mantour Guy Podcast. Jamie Holden here, and I am so happy to have you join us once again this week. Well guys, today we're going to be looking at a question that I have for so many men when it comes to deciding if they're going to take that monumental step to overcoming porn by signing up for Covenant Eyes. Guys, unfortunately, so many men's initial reply to the idea of using Covenant Eyes is to make an excuse, and the number one being they can't afford it. And other excuses such as it won't work for them, or they don't see a need for it because they don't look at porn, and many others excuses always lead me to say this question that we're going to be discussing today in the podcast. And that question is, what are you afraid of? So today I want to look at some of the fears and help alleviate these fears. And we're also going to hear from Sam Black, who's a VP at Covenant Eyes, to get some insight into the program. So guys, let's get started. Guys, one of the biggest answers I get to that question of what are you afraid of is men answering, I don't want someone else to see every single thing I do online. And guys, I get it. I have to admit, I felt the same way when I first thought about using Covenant Eyes. But I did some research and understood how the program actually works. When you have the internet accountability, your accountability partner doesn't see everything you look at online. They don't see what brand or size underwear you buy at Amazon or how obsessively you watch the NFL standings. They don't know every time you check your fantasy football team. They don't know how often you watch chick flicks with your wife on Netflix or how often you do your online banking. That's not how it works. Your accountability partner doesn't get a printout of your entire internet history. They don't get a long laundry list of every single thing you've looked at online. It only sends them notifications if you watch things rated as pornography, graphic, sexual, things like that, which are rated mature by internet websites. So it's not like they're going to see every single time you look to see how far ahead you are in your fantasy football league, stuff like that. It doesn't work that way. It's going to show if you're looking at porn or mature material or things you shouldn't be looking at, and that is it. I mean, guys, I'm the accountability partner for my dad. When I get his report, 99% of the time it has nothing on it, and the other 1% I can either usually tell right away what it is, or I ask him. Honestly, guys, of all the time my dad's been on it, I've only ever one time got something that was on it that I had to ask him about. It doesn't send me a detailed log of every time he researches sheds online or checks the score of his beloved Phillies. And honestly, the one time I did see something, it was a pop-up. I could see right away what it was. It was nothing he had done or looked at, and it was no big deal. So as you can see, guys, there's no reason to fear the accountability report unless you're looking at porn. And honestly, if you're looking at porn, you need someone holding you accountable. And that's what it's designed to do. But the fear of every single thing you look at online is going to be seen, it's just not the way it works, guys. All right, the second question I hear a lot is, I don't have anyone that I can ask to be my accountability partner. Many guys don't think they have anyone in their lives they can ask this question, will you be my accountability partner? They don't want it to be their wives, which quite honestly, I agree with that. I'd find someone besides your wife to do it. They don't know which friend they can trust, and some say they have no friends. And my advice to this is to really stop and really think hard. Could you ask your pastor? Could you ask a relative? Maybe your father-in-law, a trusted coworker, your Sunday school teacher, maybe a friend. We all have someone we can ask. It's just a matter of finding the courage to do so. So I encourage you, just think hard and overcome this initial excuse of I have nobody I could ask to be accountable. Just think hard, work through it, and just find somebody. Another thing I hear a lot is I won't be able to afford it. And this is so common and it's such a fear and excuse that men use about Covenant Eyes. But I think a bigger fear should be putting money ahead of staying sexually pure and sinning against God. I mean, honestly, you should not be putting money ahead of that. Staying sexually pure and sinning against God should be the most important thing in your life. Guys, you can't afford not to sign up for Covenant Eyes. I say that all the time, but it's true. You need this protection, and so does your family. For 53 cents a day, You can protect every computer, every laptop, every tablet, every cell phone that you and your family own, and it keeps the trap of internet pornography away. Is paying 53 cents a day worth it to you to break the cycle of pornography in your life and to make sure it isn't continued by your own children? Isn't your legacy worth 53 cents a day? Isn't your children's spiritual walk worth it? Man, guys, I really think it is. Well, guys, we reached our break. We're going to be right back with some insight from Sam Black, a VP at Covenant Eyes, about Covenant Eyes, as we continue to look at the question of what are you afraid of?
I know you're gonna dig this.
Like what you're hearing? Head over to iTunes to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. Thanks.
We're all men under construction. Under Construction is a spiritual how-to book where men come together to share their experiences and the wisdom they've gained on their own journey to biblical manhood and building a legacy of godliness. Written by 30 different men and pastors and men's leaders, Under Construction discusses 6 key areas all men can grow spiritually. Order your copy today at mantourministries.com. God's not finished with you yet. We're all under construction.
Order your copy today at mantourministries.com. Don't forget to visit iTunes to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. Thanks.
Technology is amazing. So are your kids. How your amazing kids use amazing technology may amaze you. It can teach them another language, help them with their homework, show them the world, encourage creativity, and connect them with others. And that's good. But it can also be harmful. Did you know about 90% of children age 16 have seen pornography online, most while doing their homework? Even at young ages, porn is the norm. It's not a matter of if they see porn, but when. Do you know how kids use technology today? How do you talk to them about online pornography? How do you start the conversation? These questions are answered in a free, easy, practical parenting guide. Parenting the Internet Generation from Covenant Eyes equips parents with the tools they need to be observant, engaged, and informed about their child's technology use. It will teach you what to do if your child sees a questionable commercial or advertisement, where to turn after they see pornography, and how to create a trusting environment where it's safe to talk about any topic. Help your kids build healthy habits online. Download Parenting the Internet Generation today.
Sign up for Covenant Eyes using the code Mantour at checkout and receive 1 month of free service. Visit covenanteyes.com today to sign up. And remember, 1 month of free service when you use the code Mantour. That's MANTOUR.
Listen to the Mantour Guy podcast on the go via Apple Podcast and Google Play. Thanks.
Hey guys, the Mantour Guy, Jamie Holden here. You know, I'd love to come share at your church, at your men's ministry, at your next men's event, or men's breakfast. I have a challenging word for God's men to help them become the men that God has called them to be. If you'd like to have me come share with your group, visit mantourministries.com to contact me about coming to challenge and encourage your church's men to grow in their walk with God.
The Mantour Guy podcast, helping men grow in their walk with God.
Are you looking for a men's ministry resource that will teach your men the basics of what it means to be a man of God? Well, check out Mantour Ministries' book, Putting on Manhood. With 1 Corinthians 13:11 as the foundation, Putting on Manhood shows how to put your childish ways behind you and become the men that God designed for you to be. With the help of God's Word, the Holy Spirit, and a band of brothers, you can grow into true godly manhood. Order your copy today at mantourministries.com. You can start today to put on godly manhood.
Order your copy today at mantourministries.com. Welcome back to the Mantour Guy podcast.
Welcome back, guys, as we look at the fears that keep so many men from using Covenant Eyes and how you can move past these struggles and these fears and find the help and freedom that this program can give to you. We're going to hear now from Sam Black, who's a VP at Covenant Eyes, and I asked him about how Covenant Eyes works with filtering and the accountability and why the accountability is so important and why it's nothing to fear. When men sign up for Covenant Eyes, they get to pick somebody that they can be accountable to. What makes a good accountability partner, and why shouldn't men fear this accountability, but instead they should embrace it?
Yeah. You know, if you look at Proverbs, it is full of what a brother should be like. And that's really what we're talking about. We're talking about inviting another brother in Christ to walk with us. But we're very afraid because Satan doesn't want us to have an accountability partner.
Yep.
He thinks it'd be a great idea if you struggle all by yourself and you're alone, because when you're alone, you're an easy target. That's why Proverbs says a strand of three cords is not easily broken. It talks about one man who falls into a ditch, he's in trouble. But if he's with a friend, the friend will help pull him out. That if he's walking the road and is attacked, well, he's in bad shape. But if he's walking with friends, well, they can defend themselves, right? So that's what this is all about. It's about bringing someone along in your life that can help you defend the gates of your heart. It says, above all else, guard the gates of your heart, for from it flow springs of life.
Mm-hmm.
When we're alone, we do a very poor job of protecting our well.
Yeah.
We do a very poor job of protecting the spring of our heart. And so what we're doing is we're inviting someone to walk along with us. So, and there's this great verse in Proverbs 20, verse 5. And it says, the purpose in a man's heart is like deep water, but a man of understanding will draw it out. Now, when you look down in a well, you see the surface. It kind of shines back at you. The light shines back. You don't really see below the surface. But it says in here that a man of understanding can look beneath the surface. It's like he's putting on some diving goggles and you can look beneath the surface of the water. You put a piece of glass down on water and you can suddenly see down deep into it. Well, that's what it's all about. I got 3 guys that receive my Covenant Eyes report that go to my church. I see them visually. I know who they are. They know who I am. It's not like anything anonymous. But I have one guy that not only receives my report, but we're just that close. He's my associate pastor at my church. I'm his accountability partner as well. And we get real on everything. There's nothing that we can't talk about. And what we do online is important. What we do in life as fathers and as husbands, every aspect of our life, we get to unveil to each other. And I think that's one of the beautiful things about building that relationship. And I'll come back to that. But I remember one time I said, I was alone and I was stressed. And there was a TV show on, and I could tell that there was going to be sexualized content that was going to come. And I was slow. In changing the station. I knew that it was coming, but I think part of my heart really wanted that. It was really kind of being rebellious and wanting to go there. And so we began examining. He says, okay, well, thanks for. I'm glad we could share that and talk about that. Let's dive in deeper. What were you going through? And we began talking about some stress that I was under, some distance, and other things that were going on in my life. And we began diving deeper into my heart, into my thinking, into my habits, and to what was going on in my world. And then I was able to learn from that. You see, he was a man of understanding that could look deep into my well and draw out what I was doing in my life that was contributing to poisoning my well. And I think that's where we really need to be. Wherever you're at one point, pornography was a major struggle in my life. I had compulsive behaviors of pornography. I want to say that I can tell you and your listeners that you can live in absolute freedom from pornography. You do not have to live in that trap.
Yeah.
And you don't have to feel like, oh, I'll never break free, because with accountability and with a true understanding of, allowing that to come into your life, you can gain strength from that relationship.
Yeah.
Now, there's other things that go along with that, using very intentional living and some best practices that we can talk about further at maybe another call. But I think it's important and valuable that we no longer travel alone, that we have accountability partners in our life, that we share our life with, that we share our struggles with. And Satan would love to keep you alone. And he does that very especially through shame. And if he can keep you in shame, you'll never share your dirty little secret with anybody else. If he can keep you in shame, you'll never really break free. You'll always be kind of stuck in that spot where if anybody knew what my heart was like, the things I thought in my head, if anybody knew, they really wouldn't love me anymore.
Yeah.
And that's a lie.
Yeah.
And I've seen it over and over and over again. And having someone that you can have a deep and valuable relationship with and share this struggle with you is an amazing step toward freedom.
And that's so true. I've seen in my own life experience the same thing. I was struggling, addicted to porn, and God set me free. And the Covenant has been a great help to me, and there is victory on the other side of it. No man has to stay bound to pornography. Well, as we wrap up today, could you give our listeners your very best plug of why they should sign up for Covenant Eyes? Sell them on it right now.
You've probably heard of the group Casting Crowns. And Mark Hall is their lead singer, and he probably gave me the best thought on this. And he says, Sam, it comes from 1 Corinthians. And so here it is. 1 Corinthians, starting at verse 12. Therefore, let anyone who thinks that he stands take heed lest he fall. No temptation has overtaken you that is not common to man. God is faithful, and he will provide you, he will not let you be tempted beyond your ability. But with the temptation, he will also provide the way of escape, that you may be able to endure it. And Mark said it so well, is that we often think of the means of escape too late. That we need to plan our escape route.
Yeah.
And having Covenant Eyes on your devices, having regular discussions with your accountability partners about life in general, not just about porn, provides you your way of escape. That in that moment when you are weak, in that moment when you've been triggered, you can think more deeply. Do I really want to click there? Is this what I want for my life? Do I want to have that conversation with my accountability partner? During the last time we had that discussion, these are the things we talked about. Here's what I said I would do when I was triggered. See, we need to think about our way of escape prior to. Mm-hmm. And I think Covenant Eyes is an amazing tool, and it's been an amazing tool personally in my own life.
The Mantour Guy's final thought.
Guys, y'all know I am a huge proponent of Covenant Eyes because I want to see all God's men live free of the bondage of internet porn. It's something that once held me personally bound, and I am a living testimony that victory and freedom is possible. Even now as a free man, I still see the need for Covenant Eyes in my life. One huge reason I use it can be summed up in 2 words. Internet pop-ups. All right, well, maybe that's 3 words if you consider pop-up 2 words. I don't know if it's 2 words or what. But anyways, Covenant Eyes helps defeat the trap that pop-ups lay for us. For instance, I remember once I was downloading a file online, and a pop-up shot up across the screen, and Covenant Eyes blocked it, and I was protected. But But I knew the accountability report would reference it, so I just shot my accountability partner a text and let him know what he would see in the report and what happened. There was no judgment on his part because of the open communication and relationship we have. And then, guys, the beauty of this illustration is that Covenant Eyes worked. It blocked this unwanted website. All it showed on the screen was a Covenant Eyes logo and a message saying it was blocked bad content. And as I closed the window, guys, on the website, I saw this message from Covenant Eyes, not a dirty porn site. So even the hint of temptation for a quick look wasn't there. I was protected, and I went on with the rest of my day. If this pop-up hadn't been blocked, who knows what even a quick image like this could have done to me spiritually. As someone with a porn-watching background, I'm susceptible to falling back into the trap of seeing a pop-up. The enemy will use anything to try and trap us again. But Covenant Eyes blocked it, and it kept me safe. And guys, it can do the same for you. I encourage every listener, take advantage of this weapon in the fight for spiritual purity as we all work together to grow in our walk with God. And as I said before, use the code Mantour when you check out and receive 30 free days of service. Conquer your fears, guys, once and for all. Sign up and let Covenant Eyes protect you and your family. I guarantee you, you will never regret it. Well, guys, we're out of time for this week. One quick bit of housekeeping. We're going to be taking a break next week for Memorial Day, but we will be back with a brand new episode on June 3rd. Once again, thank you for listening, for giving your time today to listen. For more information on our Mantour conferences, dates, and locations, visit MantourMinistries.com. But guys, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next week on the Mantour Guy Podcast.
Thanks for listening to the Mantour Guy Podcast. Be sure to visit MantourMinistries.com to learn more about our books, men's ministry resources, and our Mantour conferences.
Hey guys, Jamie Holden here. Did you know that only 10% of churches have a healthy, thriving men's ministry? That's only 1 out of 10 churches. Well, my mission is to see this number become 100%. Join me in my work with HEUS Missions to help develop men's ministry in the local church. Become a monthly financial investor in the work God called me to do by going to MantourMinistries.com/partner and clicking on the Give Online button. Together, we can see God continue to move among men. One more thing before I wrap up this week, guys. You need to head to CovenantEyes.com and sign up today to protect you and your loved ones from the many traps awaiting you on the internet. You know, I am a Covenant Eyes user. I just signed my 69-year-old father up and put Covenant Eyes on his phone and his laptop. I believe in it. It's an amazing tool. It helps you stay pure online. Guys, I encourage you to try it today. If you use the code Mantour, you get 30 free days. That's 30 free days. What do you have to lose? So head to CovenantEyes.com, try it today. Like I said, what do you have to lose, guys?
The Mantour Guy Podcast, helping men grow in their walk with God.